Today, we're not going to delay. Today, I'm going to talk all about procrastination and how to stop putting things off. So, again, today we're not going to delay. We're moving forward and we're going to show you how to get out of that pattern of procrastination if you or someone you know is dealing with it. Do you ever say to yourself, I'll get this done later, or I'll do this another time, or I'll just handle this tomorrow? Well, the first thing I want to do is reassure you procrastination is not laziness, it's not a lack of willpower or discipline or poor time management skills. It's a brain's pattern of decision making, and it's often a cycle that we experience and that we do over and over again. It, but I want to reassure you, it often comes from a good place, from wanting to do a good job, from wanting to get things right, and putting things off because you feel you're not prepared enough to do that. So I want you to know the first thing that procrastination is not laziness, it's not blame, it's not guilt, but understanding what causes it and good strategies to move you past it can really help. Education can make a big difference. And again, I think we'd all agree that procrastination doesn't solve us optimally. We wish we could move forward. So if you want to move ahead and work more efficiently and stop working with delays, you are in the right place if you want to get past procrastination. And again, I think it's really helpful to understand it, to understand what causes it. We're going to talk about some of the causes, and then we'll talk about how to get past it and how you can eliminate procrastinating behavior. So, again, it often comes from a good place when we procrastinate and put off. And one of the most common causes, underlying reasons for procrastination, is perfectionism. When the bar is so high and we feel we have to do everything perfectly, people sometimes say, well, I'm not moving forward on this because I don't know if I have it perfectly. I'm just going to wait. I'm going to sit back. I'll do it later. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it next week because I am not prepared to do this perfectly yet. That is a really common reason. And there are a lot of reasons for perfectionism. Sometimes it comes from childhood, from strict parents or teachers or experiences where we didn't get something right at some point in time. So the first thing and the first strategy that I want to mention to you for the perfectionist-based procrastination is one thing you can do is try and change your mindset. That high standard is from I have to do this perfectly every time to I can take a first step or a second step that doesn't have to be perfect that can help me move forward. And in fact, I have learned and I want to share with people that when you move forward and take the first and second step, that can often help you figure out what the next third, fourth, or following steps would be to get you to either a perfect outcome or a great outcome. Whereas if you just sit back and don't get started, you would not have the knowledge or information to do everything at once to get you there perfectly. So sometimes letting go of that perfectionism and allowing yourself and making yourself take that first, second, third step forward will help you meet that high bar that you wouldn't be able to do if you kept yourself stuck and wouldn't allow yourself to get started. So, again, perfectionism is one of the causes of procrastination. Second is a fear of failure. People are sometimes afraid to go ahead because they just are afraid they'll fail. Again, sometimes we have high standards because of childhood, parents, teachers, or as an adult, a boss or a coworker, where you might have been embarrassed or some experience. So people sit back and say, I'm afraid, I don't think I can get this right, so I'll just sit here. I won't even try or venture forward. And third is a general sense of low self confidence or poor self esteem, doubting one's ability to handle tasks. I don't know how to do this, so I just won't do it. Another cause is stress or burnout when we're tired and we feel our mental energy is depleted. It sometimes causes people to put off making decisions or moving forward. I'm just too tired. I can't move ahead. Or I can't decide. I'm too tired. So we might refer to that as decision fatigue. Or some people call it mental paralysis. And it occurs more under stress or burnout or exhaustion when we feel we just don't have the reserves, the mental energy to move forward. Also, another category of a cause of procrastination is emotional avoidance. So there may be stress or discomfort or boredom associated with a task. For example, cleaning up the clutter in my room is, somebody might say, is boring. I'd rather watch TV or do something fun or listen to music. It's boring to clean. I don't want to do it. I'll do it tomorrow. Or emotional avoidance. So someone who has to, like one of my clients had to clean out her mother's home after her mother passed away. And it was just very stressful for her to do that, to clean out her mother's things, her clothing, her belongings. And she kept putting it off, which you might understand. But I helped her figure out strategies and ways to move forward. But you can imagine emotional avoidance, thinking, oh, I really don't want to do this. I'd rather sit and do something fun. And another cause of procrastination is just feeling overwhelmed, like a task is too big. I don't even know how to start this. I don't know how to get into this. So I'll just sit and I won't do it at all. And that's how the brain often functions. So again, there are a lot of underlying reasons. I want to talk really quickly about brain activity when we procrastinate. Again, it can help us understand why we do it and how to move out of it. So when we procrastinate, there's often what people refer to as a battle or competition between your emotional brain, the limbic system, and your logical brain, the prefrontal cortex, that makes decisions, planning, decisions, what they call executive functioning in the prefrontal cortex. And when you have competition between the logical part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, and the emotional part, the limbic system, where you're feeling many of the reasons that I listed for procrastination, when you're afraid, you have low self-confidence, you're stressed, you have emotional issues, the emotional brain usually wins out. And so if you say to yourself, well, I really should clean out my mother's apartment, but oh, I just can't do this. The emotional brain usually wins out. So let's talk about some solutions, some specific solutions. And one is to know to change your mindset. You know that if you have an emotional reason to put something off, it can often outweigh that logical reason. And just understanding that can help you, if you're in that situation, say to yourself, you know, I know I don't want to clear out my mother's apartment, but I need to do it. I need to sell it or empty it so I'm not paying rent anymore. I've just got to get started. And once you get started, that's often the hardest part. The first step often helps you move forward. And as I spoke about it, sometimes when you feel like you're in decision paralysis, you feel stuck, you can't move forward. Sometimes taking that first or second or next step can help you get to that optimal outcome, whereas sitting there, you would not think that you know how to do it. So, getting started, giving yourself the confidence to get started is often helpful. And again, changing the process from results oriented to goal oriented. So instead of, if you feel you have a project to write or a chapter to write or something to write and you can't get going on it because you feel like, I don't know how to write the perfect project, I don't know how to write the perfect chapter. Instead of that being your task or assignment, say your task is to work on writing a chapter for half an hour, to work for half an hour on your project. That you can be successful at, and then you get yourself going with the first few steps. And again, once you get yourself going, you're more prepared to know how to take the next steps and get through what you need to do. The next strategy I want to talk about is awareness. So when you hear your inner voice say, I can't do this, I don't know how to do this perfectly, or I'll do this later, or I'll do this tomorrow because I'm not prepared, respond. Respond back to your inner voice. Don't let that inner voice win and keep you stuck. Respond and say, you know what? I need to get started on this. I am prepared. I can get started. I'll be able to correct course or move forward and get to where I need to go later. I just need to take the first few steps. So awareness can help. And also thinking about time. So if something can be done in a couple of minutes, and I say in 2 to 5 minutes, if you can get something accomplished, go ahead and get it done. Don't put it off. It will take more time to put it back on your plate and deal with it again tomorrow or another day. If it's only 2 to 5 minutes and you're thinking of doing it, do it now. Don't put it off. Get it done. And there's also another strategy when you feel the urge to delay and you know in your mind you should get it done. There's the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And think to yourself, I know I need to get this done, and count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then get going on whatever that task is. It was really helpful to give yourself that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 to say, all right, I'm giving myself a little time, a little confidence, a little momentum, and then I am going ahead to do it. That is how I cured my habit of putting my alarm in the mornings on snooze. I am not a morning person, and so my alarm used to go off and I would procrastinate and I would put the snooze button on. And then the snooze button would go off and I would procrastinate and I would put the snooze on again. And then I would realize, wow, I just wasted 15 minutes when I could have been up doing stuff. And what I do now, even though I don't think of myself as a morning person, I don't like wasting time and effort. And so when my alarm clock goes off and I hear that, if I don't automatically get up, I think to myself, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I get up and start my day. Again, procrastinating does not serve me well. It does not serve us well. It is not an optimal way of functioning. Another strategy for for procrastination. Sometimes we just feel stuck because we feel overwhelmed. How am I going to write this project? It's such a big topic. I can't get a grasp on it. So instead of thinking overwhelming, plan small steps. Let me just write an outline. Let me just write an introduction. Let me just write the easiest section first and get going. And again, once you start on those small steps, sometimes the next steps fall into place. The next strategy is put things on your calendar so you know when you're going to do it. And when it's on your calendar, do it without delay because it's on your calendar. You scheduled to do it. Another strategy is to simplify your environment so that it's easy to get things done. So one is to clear distractions, like clear the clutter on your desk if you want to write a project so that it's easy to get into the project in the writing and you don't have another excuse for not doing your project, like my desk is too messy, I can't put the paper down, or I can't find a pen, or I can't put my computer up, or whatever. So clear distractions, whether it's clutter in your physical environment or your workspace, or whether you have your phone or computer nearby and you're scrolling, you're on social media, you're on mindless tasks on social media that are not really of use to you. So don't waste time doing things that are not useful to you and using those as excuses to procrastinate on things you need to do. And finally, one thing that's helpful is task bundling. So if there's something you don't like doing, like cleaning or organizing, pair it with something that you like, with a task you like. So I'll clean my home and I'll play music in the background. I like the music. So while I'm listening to music, I'll take care of this other task that I don't enjoy as much. Or once you do your task, reward yourself by doing something you like. So once you work on your project for half an hour, go for a little walk, or then listen to music, or something that you enjoy doing. So remember, there are a lot of reasons people procrastinate. But again, I want to remind you, it is not laziness or a lack of willpower. It's a decision-making process that your brain is used to. It's a habit. And as we all know, it's hard to break and change habits. So you really have to put thought into it, how you're going to do it. And I want you to remember a few phrases. Progress, not perfection. You don't need perfection, especially to start out. And again, as I've mentioned, sometimes by starting out, that brings you the steps you'll need to get an optimal outcome. Whereas if you just sit stuck and you don't start anything, you can't envision the process to get that great outcome. So progress, not perfection. And done is better than perfect. We don't always have to have everything 100% done. Done is important, getting things out there. And my phrase, moving ahead is better than stuck. So take those first steps to get you moving. And again, I mentioned that procrastination is not laziness. It's not a lack of willpower or discipline. It's not poor time management. It's based on a repetitive cycle of decision making. But sometimes when you procrastinate, there are other skills that you might want to improve as well, like time management or goal reaching or resilience and self-confidence or personal decision making or stress management so that you don't feel stressed and you can function better. And I work on a lot of these skills that I work with my clients with. I do have a Success Builders Club where when you work on a bunch of skills, it can be life changing. You can go from someone who often feels stuck to someone who moves ahead so fast in your personal life, with your family, in your work life. It can be life changing. It can be career and work changing as well to update and upgrade these skills, these abilities. And I do have a Success Builders Club where we work on these. I have a High Achievers group as well. So if any of these interest you, if anything that I talked about resonates with you, if you are feeling a little stuck in procrastination and you want to move forward and get to your best life, I'd be happy to have a conversation with you about how to do that. Um, I will put my calendar in here. So if you'd like to meet with me, I will be happy to meet with a limited number of people and help you figure out how to get unstuck if you're feeling stuck and how to move to your best, most effective, most successful, and most happy life. So let's talk soon. I'd be happy to talk to you in an appointment. And do make sure you come back here every Sunday at our regular time in Facebook, 8 o'clock on Sunday. Um, and if you're watching this in Facebook, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and hit like. And when you subscribe, you'll be notified of my upcoming trainings videos as well. So let's get you to move forward out of procrastination into high energy, high success, high achievement.